What if you could get near professional laser level accuracy without paying premium prices? It sounds like something every contractor, installer, or DIY builder wants. Because in construction, precision is not optional. It's the difference between a clean, professional finish and a job that looks slightly off. A small leveling error might not seem like a big deal at first, but once you start installing tiles, cabinets, or door frames, that small error multiplies. Tiles drift out of line, edges stop matching, and suddenly the entire finish looks uneven. Fixing that later, that costs time, it costs materials, and sometimes it costs your credibility. Now here's the reality. Most laser level reviews you see online are done in perfect environments. Flat walls, perfect lighting, no pressure. But real job sites are not like that. You deal with dust, uneven surfaces, changing light conditions, and constant movement. So today, we're not testing theory, we're testing reality. And the tool under test is the CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level. A laser level that claims to deliver strong performance at a competitive price point. But the real question is simple. Can it actually perform when it matters? Because at the end of the day, you don't need a tool that works sometimes. You need a tool that works consistently, something you can rely on. So in this video, we're putting this tool through real tests: accuracy, stability, visibility, and job site performance. No hype, no paid promotion, just real results. And by the end, you'll know exactly whether this is a smart buy or a mistake waiting to happen. Before we start testing, let's talk about something most reviews completely ignore: real working conditions. Because a tool can perform perfectly in a controlled environment and still fail on an actual job site. Most reviews are done indoors, flat surfaces, perfect alignment, controlled lighting. But in real construction work, nothing is perfect. Floors are slightly uneven, walls are rarely straight, lighting conditions keep changing, and sometimes you're working under pressure. So the real question is not, does this tool work in perfect conditions? The real question is, does it still work when conditions are not ideal? Because that's what determines real value. So throughout this review, we're focusing on practical performance. We're checking consistency over time. We're testing how the tool behaves across different surfaces. And most importantly, we're evaluating whether it actually helps you work faster and more accurately. Because a tool that only works in perfect conditions is not reliable. A tool that performs under pressure? That's valuable. So as we go forward, keep this in mind. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for usability, and more importantly, consistency. Let's start with build quality, because the moment you pick up a tool, you immediately get a sense of what to expect. The CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level feels compact, but not fragile. The design is practical. It's clearly made for use, not display. The body construction feels solid enough for normal job site handling. And that matters, because tools are not used in controlled environments. They're moved around, adjusted frequently, sometimes even knocked slightly. So durability plays a role in long-term reliability. Now let's talk about controls. This device keeps things simple. No unnecessary buttons, no complicated menus. And that's a good thing. Because on a job site, simplicity saves time. You don't want to stop and figure things out. You want to set it up quickly and start working. Another useful feature is tripod compatibility. This allows for stable positioning. And stability directly affects accuracy, because even a small shift in position can affect alignment. So overall, the design approach here is clear. This tool is built for function, not for looks. And that's exactly what you want in a working environment. Now let's power it on, because this is where many tools start to show their limitations. You press the button, and the laser activates instantly. No delay. No waiting. That's a strong start. Now let's look at the beam itself.
Indoors, the lines are bright and clearly visible, sharp enough for marking, clear enough for alignment, which is exactly what you need. We also tested continuous operation, leaving the device running for an extended period. And here's what we observed. The beam remains stable. No flickering. No sudden drops in brightness. No shifting. That consistency is important because you don't just use a laser level for a few seconds. You use it for minutes, sometimes hours.
And if the output is not stable, your work becomes unreliable. We also checked heat performance. After extended use, the device remained within a safe temperature range. No overheating issues, which means it can handle longer working sessions. Now, is this the brightest laser available? No, but for indoor use, it's more than sufficient. And more importantly, it's predictable. You know what to expect every time you turn it on, and that builds trust in the tool. Now we move into the most important test, horizontal accuracy. Because if a laser level is not accurate, everything else becomes irrelevant. We set up the CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level facing a flat wall, then projected the horizontal beam across the surface. At first glance, the line looks straight, but visual inspection is not enough. So we marked multiple points along the beam, then compared those points with a reference chalk line. We also measured distances between points to detect any variation. At short distances, the alignment is very consistent. Deviation is minimal, almost negligible, which is exactly what you want for indoor tasks. As we increase the distance, a slight variation appears, but this is expected. Even higher-end tools show some level of deviation over distance. The real question is the deviation small enough to not affect your work? And in this case, the answer is yes. For tasks like tile installation, wall alignment, and interior layout, this level of accuracy is more than sufficient. Another important factor is visibility. Because even if a tool is accurate, if you can't clearly see the line, it becomes difficult to use. But here, the beam is visible enough for indoor marking and alignment. So overall, the horizontal performance is reliable. Not perfect, but practical. And in real construction work, practical accuracy is what matters most. Now that we've completed the horizontal accuracy test, let's break down what these results actually mean in real-world usage. Because raw measurements only tell part of the story. What really matters is how that performance translates into everyday work. With the CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level, we observed consistent alignment at short to medium distances. And that's exactly the range where most indoor construction tasks take place. Think about the work you typically do. Tile installation, wall alignment, cabinet positioning, interior finishing. In these situations, you're rarely working across extreme distances, so you don't need perfect laboratory-grade accuracy. You need consistency. And that's where this tool performs well. It provides a stable reference line that remains predictable as you work. Now let's be realistic. If you expect zero deviation at all distances, that's not practical, even for high-end tools. Every laser level has some level of tolerance. So the real question becomes, is that tolerance small enough to not affect your final result? And in this case, it is. The variation we observed stays within a range that most practical applications can handle without any visible issues. Another important advantage is ease of use. There's no complex setup. You place the tool, power it on, and follow the line. That simplicity reduces setup time, and faster setup means faster workflow. So overall, the horizontal performance here is not just acceptable, it's usable, consistent, and practical. And in real construction work, that's exactly what matters. minor slopes, material differences. So we placed the CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level at one end of the room and projected the beam across the floor. Then we measured multiple points along the line. At shorter distances, the alignment holds well. The readings are consistent and predictable. But as we extend the range, minor variation starts to appear. Now again, this is expected. Laser levels in this category are not designed for long-distance floor leveling. But here's the key point. For practical tasks like tile layout or room marking, this level of accuracy is still very usable. And the biggest advantage here is speed. Instead of measuring each point manually, you get an instant visual reference. That reduces human error and improves efficiency. So while it may not be ideal for large-scale leveling projects, it performs well for everyday indoor applications. Now let's take this tool outside, because outdoor performance is where many laser levels struggle. Sunlight is one of the biggest challenges for laser visibility. So we tested the CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level under direct sunlight. And the difference is immediately noticeable. The beam becomes less visible. At longer distances, it becomes difficult to track. Now, before you see this as a major issue, let's be clear. This is not unique to this tool. Even many mid-range laser levels face the same limitation. Laser beams simply don't compete well with strong sunlight. So what are the practical solutions? You can use a laser detector or work in shaded environments. When we moved the test into a shaded area, the visibility improved significantly. The beam became clear and usable again. So the conclusion is simple. Indoors, strong performance. Outdoors, limited without support tools. And that's exactly what you should expect from tools in this category.
Now, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked: long-term stability. Because accuracy is not just about a single moment. It's about how consistent the tool remains over time. We ran the CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level continuously for an extended period and observed its behavior carefully. What we wanted to see was simple. Does the beam remain stable, or does it start to flicker, shift, or weaken? And here's what we found. The beam stayed consistent. No flickering, no sudden changes, no instability. That's a strong positive, because on a real job site, you rely on tools for extended periods, marking, aligning, adjusting, and if the tool is not stable, it becomes unreliable. We also checked temperature performance. After prolonged use, the device remained within a safe range. No overheating issues, which means it can handle longer working sessions. Now, is this industrial-grade durability? Not exactly. But for its category, it performs reliably. And reliability is what matters most, because a tool that stays consistent is a tool you can trust. Now let's move into what really matters: real job site application. Because no matter how good a tool looks in controlled testing, its real value is proven only in actual working conditions. We used the CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level in multiple real-world scenarios. First, tile installation. We projected the horizontal beam across a wall and used it as a guide. The difference was immediately noticeable. Piles followed a straight reference line. Spacing became consistent, and the installation process became faster. Instead of measuring repeatedly, we had a continuous visual guide. Next, ceiling marking. Creating a level reference manually takes time, but with the laser, we had a clear line instantly across the room. This made marking faster, easier, and more accurate. Then, door frame alignment. Using the vertical beam, we checked straightness.
And this is where the tool becomes especially useful. Instead of relying on estimation, you get a clear, visible guide. Now, is it perfect? No, but it significantly reduces mistakes. And in construction, fewer mistakes mean less rework. Less rework means saved time. And saved time means higher efficiency. So in real job site use, this tool proves to be practical, reliable, and genuinely useful. Now, let's talk about efficiency, because tools are not just about accuracy, they are about improving how you work. The CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level reduces the need for repeated manual measurements. Instead of checking alignment again and again, you get a continuous visual reference. That alone saves a significant amount of time. And on a job site, time is always limited. Another major advantage is reduced human error. Manual measurements can vary. Even experienced workers can make small mistakes. But a laser line provides consistency. So instead of relying purely on judgment, you have visual confirmation. This improves accuracy across the entire workflow. It also helps with teamwork. When multiple people are working, everyone can follow the same reference line, which keeps everything aligned. So the benefit is not just individual performance, it improves team coordination as well. And in real projects, that makes a big difference.
Now, let's answer an important question. Who should actually buy this tool? The CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level is best suited for practical users. If you are a beginner in construction, this is an excellent starting point. It gives you the functionality you need without requiring a large investment. If you are working on small to medium projects, this tool is more than sufficient. It provides the accuracy required for everyday tasks. It's also a great choice for DIY users, home renovators, interior technicians. Basically, anyone who needs a reliable leveling tool for indoor work. Now, if your work requires extremely high precision, this may not be the right option. But for practical applications, it fits perfectly. Now, let's talk about limitations, because choosing the wrong tool can create problems. If your work involves long-distance alignment, this tool may not be ideal, because as distance increases, even small deviations become more noticeable. Also, if you work mostly outdoors in bright sunlight, visibility will be a challenge, unless you use additional equipment like a laser detector. Another important factor: if your work requires certified precision, this tool is not designed for that. It is not a survey-grade instrument. So for large-scale or high-precision projects, you will need a more advanced solution. But again, this doesn't make the tool bad. It simply means it's designed for a specific purpose. And understanding that purpose is key to making the right decision. Now, before we move to the final verdict, I want your input. If you are working in construction or planning to buy a laser level, drop a comment below. Drop CIGMAN test. I read every comment. And based on your feedback, I'll create a full comparison video where we test multiple laser levels side by side. Because choosing the right tool should be based on real performance, not marketing claims. Also, if you are finding this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button. It helps this content reach more people. And if you want more real-world testing like this, subscribe to the channel, Asif buildPro Insight, where we focus on practical tool reviews. No hype, no bias, just real results. Let's take a closer look at what this tool actually is. The CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level is a cross-line laser level. It projects both horizontal and vertical beams. These beams act as guides for alignment. The tool is primarily designed for indoor applications, such as wall alignment, tile installation, ceiling layout, door positioning. The key advantage here is simplicity. There are no complex features, no difficult setup process. You simply place it, turn it on, and start working. And that simplicity is what makes it effective, especially for everyday use. Now let's clearly break down the pros and cons. Starting with the positives, the CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level offers reliable indoor accuracy. It is easy to use.
Setup is quick and straightforward, and the beam remains stable during operation. Now the limitations. Outdoor visibility is limited. Long-distance precision is not its strongest point. And while the build quality is solid, it's not designed for heavy industrial use, so it should be handled with care. Overall, it has clear strengths and expected limitations. After all the testing, let's summarize the performance. The CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level delivers reliable indoor accuracy. The beam is stable. The tool is easy to use, and it performs well in practical scenarios. Its main limitations are outdoor visibility, long-distance precision, but within its category, it performs well. And that's what matters, because tools should always be evaluated based on their intended use. And for its purpose, this tool delivers.
Now, let's put everything into perspective. In the budget category, we have tools like CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level, Firecore F93T Laser Level. These tools focus on affordability and practicality. Then we have mid-range tools. These offer better accuracy, improved durability, and stronger visibility. And finally, premium tools, designed for maximum precision and professional use. So the choice depends on your needs. If you need a practical tool for everyday tasks, budget options work well. If you need higher precision, then you move up the range. So here is the final verdict. If you are expecting high-end, professional-grade precision, this is not the tool for you. But if you are looking for a practical solution, a budget-friendly option, a reliable tool for everyday indoor work, then the CIGMAN CM701 Laser Level is definitely worth considering. It doesn't promise perfection, but it delivers functionality. And in real construction work, that's what matters. Because speed matters, consistency matters, practicality matters, and this tool provides all three. If this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Press, compare, and I'll create a full comparison video for you. And remember, the right tool doesn't just make your work easier, it makes your results better. See you in the next one.